Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Tom Mizzou. Watch my channel Mizzou14, and I'm here doing a review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 1, Episode 6 and Episode 7. I'm deciding to combine two of these episodes together because Episode 6 wasn't too much drama, so much. It was mostly about the wedding, and it was a beautiful wedding, so it's not really much to talk about that, and it's, to let you know about that. But it was still some things going on, especially with Melanie and her spiral out of control about this infidelity and her issues and not stepping in it and then going through a lot of issues. A lot of her questioning, self doubt, not trusting Martell. It really boils down to Melanie and her degrees of degrees of trust towards Martell. And she just still want answers, still want to know what happened. Why did it happen? How did it happen? Like, it still want more. And want Martell to clarify because she's still not on a good page. But according to Martell, he thought everything is good. Like, so it was like he don't want to keep talking about this, but at the same time, like, you hurt your wife, and sometimes things like this doesn't go away, and especially if she still think that you are showing some signs and you're not making her feel comfortable in the fact that when you go out that she's not gonna think you're gonna cheat. You had a freaking full blown affair, a girlfriend on the side for at least one, according to you, like 2 years. You talking to her while you had a wife, and you didn't feel the need that was unacceptable. So let's go on. All right. So the wedding, Kimmy is like really. All right. So yes, all the girls and the guys, the couples were discussing about the nights. The guys was being very guarded about what happened. They didn't want to tell the girls all the truth. I don't understand why y'all need to know everything what happened at the bachelor parties. Like, you know what most of you guys do at bachelor parties? They go to the club or they in the house. They rent strippers. The strippers dance and that's it. They drink. Oh, so that's what most of the bachelor. It's like they don't really do nothing. That's like a simple thing that most men do, especially the night before they get married. It's like that exactly like a standard point for most men to do it at bachelor parties. So I don't know why these females are so surprised and want to know so everything. So basically, the guys went to the club. They didn't go to the strip club. They went to a strub. They went to a club that had different girls dancing and everything. I can't tell if they strippers or not, but at the end of the day, they were having a good time. Maurice was enjoying himself. Like, Kimmy know that her husband danced. Like, she cannot tell you. You said, don't tell me you was not dancing. 'Cause I know you. I know my husband. And I know you be dancing. So like that. So he's like, he trying to play it off like he wasn't doing, like it's hazy and he don't remember. And she said, well, there may be some videos out there. And I would have found out from a video, then let me do that thing. He said, okay, yeah, I was dancing. She said, I know you was doing. Like, she was upset. Just let her know, like, exactly. Yeah, my husband was dancing. He having a good time. He was dancing with females. He was dancing by himself. He mostly danced by himself and making a fool out of himself. So that's how you supposed to do. Like, he enjoying himself. He know he gonna marry Kimmy. He not gonna mess it up by sleeping with her, sleeping on her. So he just enjoyed himself. Marcel, he was there smoking cigars and all of that. He claimed he spent a lot of money on drinks. And Martell, who alter ego came out, Marcus, was there, and Martell wasn't drinking because you could tell he a lightweight. Because when they were trying to drink in the patio, I guess they gave him straight like Patron or something. Vodka, those are straight strong drinks, and he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it. He was like, "Oh, that's like me. Like, with something strong, I cannot take it. I need to have something fruity, nice, and good. You can't give me no strong ass drink because I'm not gonna drink it. I'm gonna say, oh no, that's it. You can't get me. So that's why you can never see me drunk because I would never get to that point. But Martell was throwing it back, throwing it back, throwing it back. So it was like, oh snap, oh child, right? So that was that. So basically, the guys were guarded, and the females didn't really do much. They all was just in the party bus dancing, go to different clubs, stuff like that. We really no male around, so they were just mostly chill with themselves. Which sometimes that's what bachelorette party do. But sometimes bachelorette parties also do something what males do at bachelor parties. Sometimes they get strippers, something like that. If you got that friend who playing your thing, they give you all these lingerie as gifts, all that stuff, and they had a male stripper. So it's those different things of what males do for their bachelor parties. So it's like, but they was mostly classy. They was mostly to themselves, so it wasn't too much. It was no males present unless it was at the restaurant, but they was workers. So except for that one guy That one white guy, he went to the he went to their table, started going off, just stole everything. He said, "Oh, you beautiful," and all that. So it was like, "Oh, thank you." And then they took the guy away. It was like, "Oh wow." And they had a big Wiener dog for her. She said, "Oh my gosh, who did this?" But it was fun, so like that. So they had a little sit down, meet and greet with the families and friends. They had like a table for 30, and it just had a little dinner and stuff. And Wanda came. That's Letitia mother. And tell you, Letitia mother is something else. She is no joke. You can't even tell that's Letitia mother because you like Letitia and her mother is like two different kind of people. And it made it come to the point that Letitia kind of was embarrassed for her mom being there because her mom was embarrassed her. So Melanie, she couldn't get over it. She just wanted to know what exactly was going on because she know that Martell wasn't drinking. She heard it was a live video. One of the guys live videotaped the session. No, videotaped the party. So it was a live video. So you want to let me know what's going on. Telling it now. And Marcel, you know how Marcel is. He said, "No, I don't care if they say they got a video. I'll keep my lips shut." But he did spit out that he spent $1,200 on drinks. I would say, damn. Fuck out of here. I don't drink that much in the club. I pregame and I go in there and dance. I would not spend on $1,200. So Letitia mom heard that and wanted said, you spent $1,200 on a drink, Monsaw? That's what you did, Monsaw? No, Monsaw. You spent that. Something ain't right, Monsaw. So I was laughing because it was like, yeah, something ain't right, Monsaw. You trying to tell me you spent $1,200 on drinks? You spent $1,200 on drinks? And all that, I was like, God, what? So then the topic of his ring brought up because Boss saw that has his ring on. So, which I know sometimes couples they go to trips and all that, you don't want to lose their wedding ring, but you took off your ring. But sometimes, I don't know, if you married, you need to have your ring on. I was like, unless you do something extraneous that you could lose your ring, they understand it. But if you at a bowl, you're at a party, something like that, show your wedding ring, let people know that you are taken, you're not like single. So Letitia was a little upset about that, but she wasn't too upset about it. But that mother Wanda was like, let it go. Where's your ring, boss? So I saw you don't still have your ring, boss. So you need to have your ring. And I was like, oh my gosh. Letitia said, Ma. So what? You see, Maurice got his ring, but you don't got your ring, boss. So I was like, oh my gosh, Wanda. But Wanda was too much. So they had the little wedding. It was beautiful. It was a sunset because it was raining. And Kimmy was so upset. She was like, not too really upset, but she was a little bit. It was like, oh my gosh, it's raining. I heard it's bad luck to get ready your wedding day. I don't know. The teacher said, don't think about that. Maybe it's good luck. You don't know. It's like, you just have positive energy because at the end of the day, you married somebody and they both know they marry each other. They had no doubts. It was no apprehensions about the marriage. They was mostly apprehensive about the whether they marry each other. I said, no matter if it's inside or you outside, as long as y'all bond together and y'all say that I do, it should be fine. But lo and behold, it dried out. The sunset was beautiful after they said I do. It was a beautiful scenery, something like that. So it was nice. So God was looking down on them. So all this time, Melody and Martell wasn't even enjoying themselves. Especially Melody, like Melody was like all in her feelings about everything was going on. So she took it upon herself to talk to Martell outside and just ask him, I don't know why you would do that at a wedding instead of enjoying yourself and do this day. You just want to choose right then and there to dress it. She said, I'm not the type of person who will wait and let it fester. I need to dress it right then and there. But at a wedding, girl, like, come on, Melody. You is aching me and you drive me to nerves. Like, I'm getting a little bit of nerve from you, girl. But I understand her apprehensions. I understand her feelings. I understand her emotions. It's very valid. And it's no cookie cutter how you handle a situation with somebody cheating on you, where you were so blindsided and didn't even know that this was possible. Like she said, it was nothing in our marriage that it would alarm me or it would show me that you would ever step out and do something like that. So I want to understand what led to that, because we never had lack of sex. We never had that issues of communication and stuff like that. So basically, last episode, he said that he was unhappy. She was doing this and doing that. But this time, he said, no, it was nothing going on. So what is it? Why decided you just cheated? So he said it was a bunch of women and stuff like that. I couldn't do anything, but it was this particular one woman that you had a 2-year kind of relationship with. Because he first said he was a year, talking to her for a year. But then He said, "Oh, I'm talking to 2 years," and then he was like, nah. It just happened. I said, how stuff like that just happened? Like, if you said nothing happened between you and Melody that would cause you to cheat, so what made you to cheat? When you said last week was a rules just to get angry, or what? Because you had a whole good girlfriend out there, and she said what was making it crazy that you feel he disrespected me and didn't even defend me because when she was going off on the phone, I had a speakerphone, you didn't say nothing to her. You said, don't talk to my wife. He said, what do you want to say like that? David basically wasn't defending his wife. And she kept calling, kept going, and all so she finally met the lady, all that stuff, but whatever. But it's like, you not making this easier, Martel. And I understand Melody is very careful to deal with. She's very persistent, and but at the same time, you got to deal with the punches because you the one who broke your relationship. So that was that. They had a whole conversation, and she said, "We got to move. What can we do?" It is like he basically was saying, "Oh, can we get over it? Apologize, make it work. I thought it was good." It doesn't work that way. You can't brush that aside and think that she was okay. She's like, yes, she stayed beside you because of the sake of her marriage, but doesn't mean that she's totally fully um, healed for what you have done. You had a full blown relationship. You didn't end up cheating one time and that's it. You had a 2 year plus relationship, a year plus, 2 years based on you relationship with this one female, and you didn't decide not to end it. And they even tell it, they didn't even tell Melanie unless she just found out based on what you said with the phone call. She called out cold and she answered it. That's how your cover was blown. But then he was upset that she was spreading the business, telling everybody. I said, no, it wasn't because at the end of the day, if this lady, and I believe Melody, this mistress having a whole husband for 2 years, certain years, and knowing that the wife didn't know, she could be bragging. She could be bragging rights because it was a rumor. Everybody was hearing it. And it just came to find out that he confirmed the rumors. But it was rumors out there way before Melody even said anything. She wasn't even saying nothing about it. But until it started coming out, coming out, then that's why it started. She's speaking about it. But I believe the embarrassment of that infidelity shamed her to even talk about it. So for you to say that she was out there spreading your business and telling everybody that you was cheating on her, that wasn't what she was doing. She was trying to save face because in Melody's eyes, she tried to portray this perfect couple, like she's a perfect marriage, and that everything is falling apart, and she's not this perfect. And that's why I understand like some couples need to stop doing that. So I'm thinking that your marriage is so perfect and everything's so good with you that you can't just deal with any problems. So you so exempt of dealing with a lot of these issues. Like you have superpowers and you got nothing to touch you. Like, stuff like this does happen to the best of us. So that was that. So after that little thing, whole spill, everything, Letitia and Marcel go because you know Letitia tried to have this independence away from Marcel instead of being a stay-at-home mom. So she's trying to get back into working, and I believe that it's nothing wrong for her doing that. I believe that a woman and man should both feel satisfied in a relationship. And if she wants to work and while she take care of the kids, there are women are out there who does that, who is a power woman, who take care of the kids and work. Maybe she maybe could do a part time, maybe she could have a babysitter. So she talked to Marcel and asked Marcel, I was like, what do you think? Because Marcel had a problem with the ring and he said you need to talk to your mother because I didn't like it. She kept going at me. And she's Letitia said she was kind of embarrassed because Wanda was not letting it go. Lord Wanda was not letting it go. She said, Marcel, what's your name, Marcel? So she was not having it. So Marcel said he wanted Letitia to talk to her. So she said, what if I tell you that I want my mother to stay with us to help us with the kids so I could go and do my commercial real estate? And you know, he's still against that though. I don't think you should do that. You should stay in the house, worry about the kids, try to guilt her. He said you will be resented in the future that you wasn't around with the kids. I said it's how she resented. She knows everything about her kids. Like if her mother, their grandmother is there to take care of the kids, why she need to suffer and not build her dreams? She not saying she gonna go out there full time. She just want to do a part time job while she still take care of the kids. It's nothing wrong with that. So he was still upset about that. But it seemed like Letitia is stepping her ground, put her foot down, and she going to meet out the different brokers and see if she get an interview and see if she get a job. It seemed like she going to get a job because she going to get a job. So later on, Melody had a talk with her mother, and Melody was sitting down because mother was watching the kids while they was in Miami, and now she came back. The mother said she gotta go. She sat down, talked to her mother, and talked about everything that's going on, how she feel uneasy with Martell, and stuff like that. And the mother said she kind of knew something was going on because the kids were saying some things, and sometimes. Melody was saying sometimes when you go through things you don't want your kids involved because you don't want them to know, but kids do know, so they're not stupid. They see what's going on in the household, and now these days kids are really smart. Don't think your kids will not know what's going on between the household. So especially they would say something and repeat things and let the parents know that something's going on. So the mother was very, I like the mother advice. She said, I'm not going to tell you to leave him. I'm not going to tell you to stay with her. It's just something that you and God need to do that. And at the end of the day, you did all the training, you did all the talking, you did all the counseling, whatever you did. And at the end of the day, you decide to stay, you work on it. If you decide to leave, that's on you. But that's something that you have to make the decision that both that y'all are comfortable with that decision. Which I understand that. So Letitia had a job interview, and at first she was rocky. She was shaky with the interview because she was stuttering. Because the lady was asking about the kids and how do you be able to balance it? Will you be able to be flexible with your hours? And said something came up, and they needed a teacher to show a property, so like that. She said, you know what, I could do that, so like that. And after a while, she was uh, not so well. But after the end, she was like, she was this like Letitia got her like. So I said, that's what the teacher wanted. Go ahead, Letitia, show you that you got this. And show Marcel that you was not someone who could just stay home and not do whatever. And do what you got to do. So it seemed like that interview went well. We don't know how many interviews she did besides that one, but it seemed like it was good because the lady was smiling at the end. She was listening to her. So next week, she explained that she did state that she got an interview and she got the offer and she accepted. So we don't know what offer she accepted. Was with that lady that she did to or was somebody else. But go ahead, Letitia, and let's see how this gonna come about. Cause you know, Marcel is not gonna have this. He is so against her working. I don't know why. I don't know why because of maybe the agreement they had, but he was so against her working. So Melody and Kimmy made up and she talked and before that, Kimmy and Maurice was looking up the guests, and they got a freaking bird trinket for Melody and Martell, and they was not feeling it. They said, "Oh," so Maurice said, "You can't have their feelings. You gotta let them. Oh, if they come to the house, you don't have it up there. You gonna let them." I was like, "Oh my god!" That's what sometimes I get the presents. It's like whatever. It is what it is. Just give me money. Let me buy my own shit. All these presents are like that. But Letitia mother bought Kimmy a robe, and she bought this freaking uh lace leather bodysuit, everything. And she said, Miss Wanda is not having it. What mother gave me some gift like that? That's baby Wanda. Mama Wanda was the one who does that. She don't care. So that was that. So they met up, and Kimmy told her that she liked the trinket. She said, "Oh, thank you." And so Gail gave her the card. And Melody just went on, and she told her about that. She said, Kimmy said, I realized that you and y'all just went off somewhere. And she said, yeah, we had to talk about infidelity. And so Kimmy said, why you decided to talk about that? Like, then she said, I had to get on my chest and talk about it. And it's like going on. And she said, you think he still cheating on you? And she said, but Melody believes that he still is. I don't know. I think he still is. In what extent, I don't know what it is. But I think he's still doing something because, I don't know, every time she bring it up, he gets very defensive. And you can't get defensive if you know you're not doing anything. So it was like, so at the time, so Kimmy and Melody relationship wasn't all that great at the time. So Melody felt like that Kimmy wasn't there and then reach out to her to ask her. Sometimes with stuff like this, it's very touchy to reach out to your friends, especially if you're not that close, to ask them and say, hey, how you feel like that? Melody said she didn't reach out, but Kimmy did tell her I did text you all that stuff. Melody confirmed that, yes, I got the text from Kimmy, but she said in a situation like that, I'd rather have a phone call, which I understand, but at the same time, I understand. But at least she reached out. It's not like she didn't reach out at all. So, but Kimmy said she knows next time. She didn't realize. So she said, you know what, how are you feeling? Everything. And she said, I'm fine, or something like that. So sometimes that answer is so quick to say, oh, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm good. Well, you know, deep down, you're not really good. So that's what you gotta say. Sometimes people say they find so quickly. This is the void to go down and tell the truth. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's just okay. So Kimmy said, You always put it like you have it together. I never knew you was going through so much. It's just that sometimes it's the one that got it together is the one that is the most damaged. Which sometimes is true. Sometimes I've always put up the front that they got everything together. It's most the one that has the most issues. So that was the one you need to look out for. Sometimes you do or you overlook the ones who have a lot of issues, but sometimes their issues are not that big as the people who have it put together. So that's what is that. And what was it? So Kimmy said, "How you didn't hear that? Because if you do that, I would flipped out and it flipped out." But Betty said, "I'm done the crying. I'm done the anger. I'm done flipping out. It's come to the point where it is what it is." Because Kimmy said, "You can kind of calm about this." And she said she did everything she got to do, and that's what it brought about not reaching out to her. So the last thing was a comeback group, and um, Melanie and Martell got a call from Richard the lender to say that he was kind of taken aback because it wasn't 6 names on the loan. It was actually 4 names. It was the Holtz, and it was Letitia, and it was Kimmy. Marsaw and Maurice's name wasn't on it. So they tried to sit down with the combat group and see what's going on. They explained is that Letitia owned 85% of the company, if it, what's it called? Infinity. So she owns most of the company, and Marsaw runs a little bit. So if she put the name, it's under the company name because it was on a contract they had last week, 2 weeks ago, when they had that first little meeting and they went on the contract. Their company was represented. So whatever the company is, it was the Holtz, Infinity, and it was the Scott's group, the Kimmy and Maurice group. So in their group, they had a company too, was under that, and it said she put the name down and stuff, and I still run the operation. So if that name thing is still under me, Flex Me. So that's why it was not our names on it, because their names on it, because it represent the company, and that's what was on the contract. So technically, they still all on board with it, but Melanie Montoya said, "Oh no, I think we could do this by ourselves, or this or that, and we should know," and it's crazy, and it's like going off, and it's basically a professional. Melanie was getting upset because she still thinking about how stuff was going on with the marriage, so she bringing it into the business group. And it's like, "Oh no, then we could do this by ourselves. We could do this." It says that's how it happened last time when y'all decided to make these decisions without the group, and that's how the fought last time. So it's not that serious for you to not agree with that. I understand what they were saying about the names. It's still technically all their names. In fact, like he didn't understand why, because he didn't understand the contact and logistics of their company and who's supposed to put their names down, who owns. So they basically still all wants to be in a combat group. And Martell was on the fence about it, but Melody said, "Oh no, you supposed to be my husband. You supposed to be there." And you was that. She said, I'm done." So she just walked out. I said, "Melody, go ahead, bye, girl." I'm just getting sick and so drained of her. I really don't understand how she's going through, but she's being a little bit too much. Lastly, they had a football game. Martell had a little slight argument with Melody because Melody said, "I can't believe you was on the fence on the team and you should have been by my side and you never say anything and I don't understand like that. And all that we supposed to be together." I was like, "Girl, calm down." Like, so she said, "Well, don't break a leg." And look what happened. He didn't break a leg, but he hurt himself. He hurt his Achilles tendons, and he sprained it. Whatever happened, he had his son Tank. He had to call Melody to get Tank. She took Tank and left Martell there. And Maurice said, "I can't believe that Melody just left Martell. Kimmy would not never do that." I said, "Oh, there's something going on." So then he broke about that he got 2 phones. I was like, "What, really, Martell? 2 phones?" I mean, I understand that some companies have 2 phones, but business and personal phone. But I don't know, when you was a cheater and you cheated on Melody, that would be questioning why you would have 2 phones. Like, if you don't have 2 phones in a non-cheating relationship, why you would have 2 phones in a cheating relationship? That's what Marsaw said, and I'll agree. I was like, all right, that's suspect. But that was the end of the episode 6 and 7. I can't wait till next week. Next week is the finale, and after that, it's gonna be Family of Fiance. I think I might review that because the season finale of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, is this Saturday. I will review that, and maybe I'll do the Family and Fiance show, which is coming on. And I think the first episode is posted up on YouTube right now. If you want to watch the first episode, it's like a promo for the season finale, season premiere. So I think about doing that. So stay tuned to that and see if I review that. But until then, talk to y'all later. Peace.